Hello there, sword friends. This is going to be a sword vlog type rambly video, and if you're not a fan of those things, that's really what it's going to be about. So I thought I would share a little bit of, well, not really share so much. There will be sharing. I'm going to get to the point of the question here. What have you done to terrify your neighbors? This comes up because not so long ago, a very nice couple and their children moved in next door to me. I have great new neighbors. I'm super happy with them. And the story I'm going to tell in just a moment has a very positive ending. But nevertheless, they were noticing that I tend to walk around my yard with swords. And I go and I whack water bottles and other bits of nonsense in my backyard. Sometimes I'm practicing in what looks like a big black gothic dress. That's my hakama. And every now and again, I'm out there in a full suit of armor doing stuff, or chainmail, or doing, you've seen some of the videos that I've done. I can look pretty ridiculous and do some things that might be very terrifying to somebody that doesn't know that I have a YouTube channel, or that I'm a practicing martial artist, or that, you know, I'm not basically a serial killer. That's basically the root of it, is they have kids and they're like, hey, is this guy all there? And I'm really curious, do you have any funny stories wherein you have terrified your neighbors or had some goofy looks or something like that? Because I have to imagine these folks had all sorts of questions. They invited me over to have some beer. My neighbor found out I'm a beer guy. He's a beer guy. I make beer. He likes to drink beer. It's a match made in heaven, right? Well, I went over there. They had some questions about the sword-related stuff, but I also got to meet their kids, which was a fun bit of well, just fun in and of itself. They have a very fun little girl that reminds me of my little girl. And sometimes little girls just have, what would it be called? Well, when a child senses that their parents are entertaining and socially want to give a good impression to somebody that, you know, they might think is a crazy maniac, they have a notion to just completely socially destroy them and act as socially awkward and inappropriate as possible. And I have a feeling that's what my neighbor's daughter was doing, which was very reminiscent of things my doting little daughter has done at times. So there was some running around and pulling and pushing. I think she did like one of the you know, what's it, the choryuken, the like uppercut to my testicles, which was not fun. Props on form. As a martial artist, I have to respect it, but not necessarily the appropriate way to greet your neighbors, unless maybe she thought I was a maniac too, and just like laying down the letter of the law, saying like, "Hey, I may be 4, but you can't mess with me." There were other funny things that happened in terms of, you know, what was it? There, I told you about the jungle region punching, but she would also just kind of run past me and give a fart. I commend the ability to control your bowels so aptly at such a young age. Many college frat boys strive to do that even in their you know, early adulthood years. So anyway, what devolved is I got into a screaming match with the permission of the parents, of course, where me and the little one were seeing who could yell louder, and in a very, you know, non-threatening, I'm not a crazy person, that's been established kind of way. And the little girl won. She totally outscreamed me and does not take any crap from nobody. And I was like, mad respect, little girl. That is, I'm a big scary man, just kind of yelling and making loud noises, and you don't take any crap and you giggle it off. And then on top of that, later we were sitting down and she came up and like stole my beer and ran away. And I was like, well, I did pretty much lose all my man points when I lost a screaming match to a 4-year-old girl, so she pretty much is the alpha here, and if she wants to steal my beer, I guess I can't do much about it. So, yeah. But anyway, hopefully I gave my neighbors, if they happen to be seeing this, the impression that I am not a crazy maniac, though if they watch any of the other videos that I've made, that red flag may be right back on and waving higher than it was before. Though, nevertheless, I hope not. The little daughter was awesome, reminded me of my little daughter Faith when she was that age, and it was super fun. But I can't blame them for having the impression that I'm a crazy person without some explanation. Now, I've lived in the same place for about a decade, and many of my neighbors have asked the question at one time or another, like, hey, what the hell is going on? Sometimes I'll have cutting parties or things like that over at my house, and basically they've kind of gotten to see that at least if I'm crazy, I'm not the only one. And I have a little girl, which kind of, as a big, weird, scary dude, makes me immediately less threatening. But anyway, they've kind of gotten used to the fact that I do cutting stuff in my backyard. And once they understand why I do it, and that it's a hobby, and that I'm not a serial killer, usually, frankly, I haven't had any problems. Nobody's ever, called the police or done anything crazy. Not that I think they should. I certainly hope they don't. But usually just a basic, hey, I'm not an insane person. Here is what I do. Here's why I do it. And if you are interested in joining me, please do, because swords are awesome, and somehow cutting a water bottle, as simple as it may seem, is oddly therapeutic, or at least it can be. So that's the experience I've had. I thought it might be funny for you to hear the awkwardness of my story. Hopefully it was mildly entertaining to you, and I would love to hear how you have embarrassed or weirded out other people with swords in your backyards as well. So if you have some stories, please share them in the comments below. And as always, cheers and thank you for watching.